June 1912. A quiet American town where nothing ever seemed to go wrong. A place where neighbors trusted each other. And doors were rarely locked at night. But one night, everything changed. Inside a small house, 8 people went to sleep. By morning, none of them were alive. No witnesses. No clear motive. And no killer ever found. This is the story of what happened inside that house. And why some people believe it never truly ended. The town of Villisca was small, peaceful, and close-knit. Everyone knew everyone. The Moore family lived there. Josiah Moore, a successful businessman. His wife Sarah. And their 4 children. On the night of June 9, 1912, 2 young girls, friends of the family, were staying over. 8 people, under one roof. It was supposed to be a normal night. Earlier that evening, the family had attended church. They returned home, greeted neighbors, and settled in for the night. Everything felt ordinary. The children went to bed. The parents followed. The lights were turned off. And silence filled the house. But sometime during the night, that silence was broken. Someone else was inside the house. Someone who had been waiting, watching, and choosing the perfect moment. What happened next unfolded in complete darkness. Room by room. The quiet home became the scene of something unthinkable. And somehow, no one outside heard a thing. No screams. No struggle loud enough to wake the neighbors. Just a night that passed. As if nothing was wrong. The next morning, something felt off. The house was unusually quiet. No one came outside. No children were seen playing. Concern grew among the neighbors. When someone finally approached the house and knocked, there was no answer. The door was opened. And inside was a scene no one could have prepared for. The entire household, gone. A home that had been full of life just hours before, was now completely still. As investigators examined the house, they discovered details that made the case even more disturbing. All the mirrors had been covered. Curtains were drawn tightly shut. A dim oil lamp remained inside. It was clear that whoever had been there had spent time inside the house. This was not rushed. This was not random. It was controlled. And deliberate. Think about that for a moment. Someone entered a home in the middle of the night, moved from room to room, and stayed long enough to leave behind a pattern. And then, they disappeared. Without being seen. Without leaving a clear trace. The investigation quickly drew attention across the country. Multiple suspects were questioned. A traveling preacher with strange behavior. A former employee with possible resentment. And several others who seemed suspicious. But every lead fell apart. Evidence was weak. Stories didn't line up. And over time, the case went cold. More than a century later, the questions remain. Who did this? Why that family? And how did they vanish without a trace? The Villisca Axe Murders remain unsolved to this day. But for many people, that's not the end of the story. Because the house still stands. And according to those who have visited, it is not empty. Over the years, people have reported strange experiences inside the home. Footsteps echoing through empty rooms. Faint voices that sound like children. Doors moving on their own. Cold spots that appear without explanation. Some say it feels like being watched. Others say it feels like something is still there. Paranormal investigators have spent nights inside the house. They've recorded unexplained sounds. Devices reacting with no clear cause. Moments that, even they couldn't fully explain. Visitors who stay overnight often tell similar stories. A feeling they are not alone. A presence just out of sight. The sense that something is observing them. And sometimes, standing much closer than they expect. So what is really happening inside that house? Is it just the power of imagination? Fueled by a dark history? Or could something from that night still remain? Can a place hold on to what happened there? Or did whatever entered that house never truly leave? One house. One night. 8 lives. And a mystery that refuses to fade. If you ever find yourself standing inside that home, in complete darkness and total silence, listen carefully. Because you might hear something. A faint sound. A quiet step. Or worse, The feeling that someone is standing right behind you.